Empire. We've got a special delivery today in the form of Aaron Rodgers. What's up, everybody? It's Mike Jones. Thanks for coming back for another episode of the Football Jones podcast. You can read me at usatoday.com, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. And yes, as I said, our guest today is Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to talk about the season. We're also going to talk about the holidays because he's doing some work with FedEx. And he's going to tell you about a special gift that he's given to all of his offensive linemen. We're going to talk about quarterbacks, talk about the Packers. Because, this is an interesting year for the Packers. They started off like gangbangers. 4 straight wins. Then they hit a hiccup when I thought was going to be a really great game against Tampa Bay. And they really struggled. They bounced back. And we've seen them kind of up and down. Had a loss the other day in overtime to another potential playoff team. And so, even though things are great, it just shows you that this is still a work in progress. He's got young guys around him outside of Davante Adams, and they're still trying to get in sync, but Rodgers himself is playing great. He's on target to surpass all of his best numbers in passing yardage and touchdown passes. He's got the leading quarterback rating this season, ahead of Mahomes, ahead of Kyler Murray, ahead of Brady, all of those guys. He's number one, and he's just going to talk about the keys to his success. So, without any more delay, we got Aaron Rodgers. Just you're putting up career numbers here this year. What has been the key to your success? And do you feel different or better than last year? You always put up great numbers, but you're on target to surpass your best season so far.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just comfort within the offense. I played in the same offense for 14 years, basically. I could close my eyes and go through the progressions probably. So last year was definitely a shock to have a whole new terminology and, the plays, like the plays are the plays. Everybody runs similar plays in the NFL, but it's just the terminology was a foreign language. It was, learning Russian for me, I think. Or whatever the hardest language, Mandarin maybe. It was definitely a change for me. I felt good about the performance last year, but this year, not just myself, but I think a lot of the contributors, Davante and Allen and Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams and Marquez and Bobby and Mercedes, we all feel a lot more comfortable within our spots in the offense, and that's why I think you've seen the production spike up significantly.
Now everybody, they take offense for you. They feel like, he needs more weapons. They need to invest more. But even though you've got a lot of guys who are still developing outside of Davante, you're still, very productive. So what is that like for you to try to have to elevate their game? How do you elevate young guys and kind of help bring them along as they're learning?
Well, I think that's a really good question. I think a coach of mine said this years ago to the team when he spoke. He said, in essence, you can't motivate people, but you can inspire them. So I think every great leader can be inspirational. And it's the ability to push the right buttons on your teammates to get the most out of them. Because every teammate is different and responds to a different type or style of leadership. You have to trust on the other end the motivation, because motivation comes from within. It's not something that you can do for somebody else. They have to want to do the work. They have to want to put in the preparation. They have to want to watch the right amount of film, study their plan enough, write the notes that's going to help them remember things the most. So that's the beauty in the game, is that you can't micromanage everything. Mm-hmm. You can't wave a magic wand and everybody's going to be the most dialed in. You're working with the human element, I think, which is the beautiful thing about our game. You're so reliant on so many different guys, not just taking care of themselves on game day, but throughout the week, so they can perform their best on Sunday. And that's why I love our team sport so much.
How do you go about learning the best way? So I imagine you can't motivate, Devontae the same way you motivate Aaron. You got to speak a different language or use different techniques for different guys. How do you go about establishing and learning what works for different guys and what doesn't?
Well, first you got to get to know them. You got to get to know them and what's important to them, what kind of makes them go. Devontae and Aaron Jones are two different guys. Tay grew up in the Bay Area, was under recruited, went to Fresno State. It's always had a chip on his shoulder. Kind of showed his toughness as a young player. He, from day one, was a very mature guy in the locker room, mature guy on the field. Now, he's married. He's a father. He has a 1-year-old. So you got to stay connected to him. Aaron Jones grew up in a military family. Went to UTEP. Was an under-recruited guy as well. Always felt like he had to prove himself. So it's understanding their stories and what's important to them. And then that will, I think, inform you on how to best be a teammate to them, because guys just want to be seen. I think people in general just want to be seen, want to be heard, want to be understood, and want somebody to take an interest in their life. And I think that's the first part of leadership.
Now, how would you describe this year? You guys started off really hot. You've had some little ups and downs here and there, some close ones. How do you describe where you guys are now, and where do you see the progress headed?
Well, I mean, we just lost a tough one against a good football team in Indianapolis, a game where we were up 14.5. So we feel like we've made a lot of mistakes and partly gave that game away, especially in the third quarter with our performance, and then turned the ball over the way that we did. Didn't help, but feel good. We're 2 games up in the division. We got 3 division games left, 2 against Chicago, home and home, and then a game against Detroit at Detroit. So it's going to be cold. Winter is coming here in Green Bay. We have snow today. We know what kind of games those are. Those are physical football games where it's important to take care of the ball and to run the ball effectively and stop the run. That's what we're going to have to do here in late November and December. We have a chance to put ourselves in position to make some games have to come through Green Bay. Not many people like coming to Green Bay in the cold of winter. We've won our fair share of games in those conditions. We won last year in the playoffs at home, so we need to get these next 6 taken care of and make everybody have to come to Green Bay.
How would you describe this quarterback landscape? You've got young guys, like Mahomes and Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, who are ascending. You've got guys who've been there for a little bit, like Russell Wilson. You future Hall of Famers like you and Brady and Breeze. What's it like being a part of this quarterback landscape?
Yeah, I think it's a great time for the NFL. I think you have such great quarterback play across the league. Obviously numbers are up this year. I think there's just so many guys playing really well, and the kind of the standard now, it's definitely above what it was when I first got in the league and became a starter in 2008. I just think you're seeing young guys who are stepping in and playing better and effective right from the start. I think you're seeing veterans being able to hang on and keep their level at a really consistently high level because of how they take care of their bodies and relying on their mind. You're seeing, not just the guys you mentioned, but Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers, and Drew and Tom, and myself, all, winning records this year, and then you're seeing obviously Russell's having a great year and the young crop of guys is fantastic. I think the league is in such great hands from a quarterback perspective. It always has been a quarterback driven league. You haven't seen that many MVPs outside of quarterbacks for a long, long time. There's less and less Barry Sanders and Adrian Petersons. Guys aren't getting the same type of rushing yards. It's become more of a passing league. And when you got those guys you mentioned, that the league's going to be in good shape for a while.
We've got a kind of a future and past shootout with Mahomes and Brady coming up on Sunday. Do you get to rewatch any of those games? I know you're playing a lot, but do you watch quarterback shootouts? Do you watch many games? Are you able to for enjoyment? And what do you think of matchups like that?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on my own sleep schedule and desires. Just the recovery process is so important. So if I have the chance to, then I do enjoy watching games like that of guys that I know and respect and appreciate their talent.
What has been the the favorite or a couple, quarterback shootouts that you've been most memorable, that you've most enjoyed being a part of?
Well, I'd say before I was a part of it as a fan, but Montana against Elway on a Monday night in '93 or '4 was one of my favorite games growing up. I think they both threw for 400 yards, and Joe let him down. It was like that made me want to be a quarterback. And I've always, uh, just harken back to whether it was the drive in '89 or a lot of them more 49er memories, because that was my team growing up. But or Favre, because Favre was my quarterback after Joe and Steve retired. But those are my favorite memories from a kid. As a player, I've been in some shootouts over the years. Did a piece a while back about who is like my biggest rival. I played against maybe watching him play. Love the battles. Russell Wilson, we've had some battles over the years, especially in the playoffs against Seattle. Memorable ones, ones you'd like to have back. But been in a lot of memorable games. Played Kansas City last year. Pat was hurt, so I haven't got a chance to compete against him yet. But I love watching him play, and I think he's a great kid.
Now, we got the holidays coming up here. How are you going to celebrate Thanksgiving, and what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Yeah, Thanksgiving, there's some different kind of protocols as years past. In years past, I've hosted 20 to 30 of my teammates and families at my house. It's I love Thanksgiving. Christmas probably my favorite holiday. Thanksgiving my second, just because it's a great time to come together and share food and break bread. And I like to go around important to verbalize. People share in those blessings as well. So I won't be doing the same type of gathering as in years past, unfortunately. My favorite dishes have often been desserts. Yeah, pumpkin pie, apple pie, chocolate cream pie. But pumpkin pie is probably my favorite pie, and obviously you get a little extra usually at Thanksgiving, because it's a favorite of most people. Sweet potato pie. I've said pumpkin pie. I think I was doing it every other day, and somebody said, "What about sweet potato pie?" I do love sweet potato pie as well.
Gotcha. Now you're treating your offensive linemen for Christmas to the Traeger grills and the custom fittings. Can you talk about that, and how'd you come up with that idea, and what you're doing with FedEx about that?
Yeah, I've long gotten the line gifts. I just think it's so important to take care of those guys and let them know how much they're appreciated. I've been guilty in the past of some guys not getting gifts on time. So this year to be able to partner with FedEx has been great, because they got their gifts before Thanksgiving, which is double rarity. But Traeger makes such an amazing product, and guys manning the grill, I think, is kind of a prereq, especially with so many of our guys being married and husbands and fathers. They got to take the load off their sweeties, and the grills that Traeger makes now can basically work themselves. So it's not the same as putting getting the old Weber out and frying something on there and having no idea what's going on. These things are pretty damn high tech. So I'm grateful to get those. And then at the same time, we got an amazing group of guys that love golf. So TaylorMade has been a great partner of mine for a long time. And to be able to work with FedEx to bring it all together has been amazing. Like they say, I shopped early and I shipped early, because I think it's great to also remind people this is different. This is 2020. This is COVID year. This is, there's going to be so many damn people trying to send stuff out. You better get your shopping done early. All you procrastinators out there, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to myself too, but I already got my gifts for the linemen. So as long as I got my sweetie taken care of and my loved ones, I'm going to be good to go. But you guys need to get out there and do your shopping early. and then get that stuff shipped out because it's going to be a busy year this year. So that's what FedEx is reminding you. It's been great to partner with them. It's a win-win for everybody, especially for the offensive line. And I don't know if you're going to say, but you can just go to fedex.com/holiday guide. All the info you need is right there. But I'm thankful to FedEx. They have been a really good partner, and I love my line.
If I could, one more. When you're on that Traeger grill, what's your go-to? What are you grilling up?
You know what? I like maybe the non-traditional meats.
Okay.
Venison, because everybody's a hunter out here in Wisconsin. I do enjoy venison, elk, bison, but some of the non-mainstream. I mean, everything's becoming more mainstream now. But yeah, I like to go with some of the non-traditional stuff on the grill.
Good deal. Well, Aaron, I appreciate your time. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and good luck the rest of the season.
Same to you, Mike. Appreciate the time, buddy.
Thanks.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I tell you, I wish I had more time because he really got into it. You should have seen his eyes like really light up when we started talking about those desserts and grilling. I was like, man, I should just skip the football stuff and we should have talked about the food because you could tell he was really into it. I don't know about you guys, but I am a foodie. As you know, if you've listened to my podcast when John Keim and I are on here and we talk about grilling. But Thanksgiving coming up, great time. I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. I know it's a difficult year. I had wanted to go back to Virginia to see my family. Not going to be able to do that. But we can still give thanks. We still hold those close to us, in our hearts. And of course, enjoy that dinner. I don't know what your favorite, dish is. Of course, I love the turkey. One of my favorite dishes, though, is the stuffing, but it's a different kind of stuffing. It's got sausage and bacon and Parmesan cheese in it. It is fantastic. I could eat that stuffing by itself. And then, of course, the desserts. I'm like Aaron. Every single pie is a great pie. I don't know how you pick one over the other. I've never tasted a pie I didn't like, but I know I'm going to be having pumpkin pie and apple pie and cherry pie and chocolate pie and coconut pie. So hope you guys get to have a great Thanksgiving. Hit me up. Let me know what your favorite dishes are. And if you got any good recipes, pass them on. Maybe we can add something to the buffet this year. Anyway, hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for listening again. You can read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @ByMikeJones. And I will talk to you guys again next week.